Hey, I'm here with the lovely Leena Manro. How are you?
I'm really good. How are you?
Good. This is the show where you're allowed to toot your horn. We want you to toot your horn to inspire us. We encourage you to toot your horn. So you are an actor.
I am an actor. I'm a writer. I'm a producer. I'm a former lawyer, and
A dancer.
yes, I am a dancer, and I'm an overall business person. Yes. I have a few things. Okay. I have a lot of horns.
Yeah, that is really great, and we're tooting them all.
A lot of tooting.
Yeah. So you did start acting, but you also mentioned that you studied law. So out of high school, your first thing that you wanted to do was to continue school?
Well, out of high school, actually, wow, high school. God, that's a long time ago. Yeah. I'm dating myself, hey? Let's just say I don't have an age. Right. I'll be in my 20s for a long time. But no, out of high school, actually, I got my business degree. And after pursuing business and working in a bank for a few years as a loans mortgage officer, I wasn't very satisfied. And, none of that was ever my passion. But it was a way to make money. It was a way to make my parents happy. It was a way to basically have a stable income and, I guess, a decent career. Right around that time, I decided then, after about 2 years in the banking industry, I couldn't handle it anymore. And although my passion was writing and acting, I didn't do that. Instead, I applied to law school, got into law school, and graduated in 2004 and practiced for a couple of years.
Nice. Okay. So your career as being a lawyer, was it a successful career?
Yeah, actually it was. I was pretty good at it. I specialized in insurance defense litigation and practiced for 2.5 years in Alberta. I'm a member of the Alberta Bar. But again, it wasn't my passion. It wasn't what, I could get up every morning, go to the office, had a lovely office, lovely view. I even bought myself this very expensive cashmere jacket with one of my first paychecks. And I always ended up feeling kind of empty. It always came down to, it came down to asking myself what truly, truly made me happy. And I decided to take the plunge, and I spent about a year here in Vancouver for about 6 months first, and then I came back and studied acting full-time and fell back in love with my first passion, and then I moved here, and I haven't looked back since.
So acting and writing is your first true passion, and you kind of knew that. It was in the back of your mind. It was always in your heart. But you said you went on to do law and practice law to make your parents happy, and it was like the career job. But as a kid, did you always know that you were good at acting and dancing and the arts? Did your parents encourage that in home?
I guess they did. I think they did by doing this. We didn't have a lot of toys. A big family, lots of brothers and sisters, no toys. So what do? You put on
sketch comedies for each other. Yeah.
You put on skits. Yeah, I guess. Well, I've been acting for a good decade or so. Well, a decade, since more than that, since I was in my teens in high school and in college and in theater, community plays. It was always a hobby. I just and I loved it.
How come you never thought that you could make a career out of it? You thought I have to go into law school and be a lawyer. That's a career. But you never thought that acting or writing would make you money?
I guess, yeah, it comes down to that. It comes down to, was it stable? Would it make a lot of money? And truth be told, when I came out here, it is hard to get work. And I found that for me, in a way, it's been a blessing because it forced me to create my own work. And I'm much, much better at that anyway, and I'm much more satisfied. So I think, why don't we follow our dreams? There's so many of us out there, especially South Asians, I really, it saddens me to hear stories of people who their first passion is not what they're doing, and that's not how it should be. And I don't even want to blame my family or my parents because, quite frankly, at the end of the day, it was my choice. And my parents are really happy as long as I'm happy. And, I don't know, I guess it was just that fear of success.
And you actually went through and you were practicing law, but when was your light bulb turning on moment where you were like, I'm gonna switch? Because you actually only practiced for 2 years, where sometimes people go a whole lifetime and they're not doing what they want to do.
Isn't that unfortunate?
Yeah, so when was the moment for you when you're like, I am going to just, pack my bags, move to Vancouver and really try to make my acting, my dream work?
I think, there were a few moments. There were some personal things that had happened that made me really question. It got down to a point where I was questioning what really makes us happy. It comes down to that. What makes you soulfully, truly, wonderfully happy? And is this all there is to life? You work 9 to 5. As a lawyer, you're working a lot longer than that. Making money to buy things, that's it. And I just knew deep in my heart there's much more. I don't know that there was one moment per se. There were quite a few. I guess one moment I would say that was quite disheartening was when I had been counsel, or like a junior counsel, for a trial, and I really worked my butt off. Can I say butt?
Yeah.
Okay. I worked
her tush off.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. There was a tooting horn that I was tooting, and anyway, I worked really hard. I remember I was driving between Calgary and Edmonton because the senior lawyer in the file was in Edmonton, and I lived in Calgary at the time, and it was morning, noon, night for several months, and I don't remember having much time to myself or to my family, and it was a really soul-drenching experience. It really woke me up. And then several months later, I got my review, and that particular lawyer that I'd been busting my butt for, he didn't even partake in the review. And I mean, this is terrible because my law firm was a great firm, and actually I worked with some really fabulous people. But it was so disheartening to me that what I had been working so hard for, it didn't even make it to what was a final sort of review of my work. And that hindered on something else that had happened, which was a miscommunication about a report that wasn't sent in on time, and it was emailed. But I mean, I just thought, what is happening here? This is not just. This is not fair. And I was quite upset by that, and that was an interesting moment for me. And it wasn't what made me pack my bags, but it was just very like, it was a cog in the wheel that set me forward in deciding, well, what is it really going to make you happy? So
and so how long have you been in Vancouver now?
I've been here, I guess, since about May of 2008. Oh, about 2.5 years now.
Okay. And so, the burning question is, any regrets?
None whatsoever. I guess there's a time when I regret not doing this earlier, but even that regret isn't an issue because I think everything happens the way it's supposed to at the right time. I think if I'd started this earlier, there's quite a possibility that I might have backed out of it and gone to the law world thinking, oh, that's where I'll make more money and this and that. It's almost better when you experience something that isn't really soulfully happy, so that you can then pursue your passion and do it without any regrets,
So that's good. No regrets, and there's lots of different projects that you have begun and started and got recognition for. Tell us about Bollywood Shenanigans.
Oh, well, my business partner, Manish Sharma, and I, we created a company called Bollywood Shenanigans, and it's an entertainment company. And along with various entertainment endeavors, our most famous endeavor is I Can't Believe It's Not Butter Chicken, a sketch comedy show. And we are going to be doing shows at the CBC theaters, and we do them, so far it's been about twice a year, and we write brand new shows every single time, with just a few favorite sketches. But then I also I wrote an award-winning and an award-nominated pilot called Desi City, and we're still in the midst of working on pitching that for a TV show. And right now I'm working as a producer for Jericho Beach Entertainment, and that's a wonderful company that just started with two of my colleagues who we do things for film, television, commercials. And it's wonderful. So now I'm getting a hand at producing. Right now I'm currently working on a documentary called Son of a Gandhi. Oh my God, the name keeps changing. It's wonderful because it follows the grandson and the great-grandson of Mahatma Gandhi, and their endeavors and their work in India, and working with children who are in slavery, and how they help them by setting up a school for them.
Beautiful. So yeah, and you are on the right path, and you're doing all the things that you love. Being with Bollywood Shenanigans and writing for Desi City allowed you to do acting in those. Like you were saying, you created your own work, and then now working with Jericho Beach, you get to do some directing and producing, which is exciting. So you're definitely like, this is what drives you and fulfills you.
It is, and it's amazing because I think people, even when they follow their passion, they become a bit disheartened because it might not necessarily, what they want might not show up the way they think it's supposed to. But I think that those are lessons. I think you need to sort of roll with the punches. And I personally am much happier creating my own work.
So for young people that are looking out there, and especially when you come out of high school, you just think, I don't know exactly what I want to get into. I don't know what field I want to get into, but parents usually say, go into school, like figure out what you want to do. If you had some advice for people that are trying to figure out what is my passion?
Do the selfless thing and figure out what it is you love to do, then become fearless and pursue it. Now, how do you do that? I think, first of all, a lot of us know deep down what it is we want to do, but we just keep going back to, no, that's not possible. No, that's not possible. And it isn't possible all at once, but the first step is possible. And all you have to do is do that. It takes a lot of hard work, but you have to do that. And if you don't know what it is, then the other responsibility you have to yourself and to your life and to all the people that you touch in your life is to take those steps to find what it might be. So take 6 months off and go travel, or go meditate, or read a bunch of books, but don't be lazy and sit there and go, well, I don't really know what it is I want to do. I mean, come on, man. You know, to me, that's sheer and utter laziness. And so instead, people take on these jobs that are guaranteed, they're 9 to 5, but it's because the work's been done for them, that they know a path exists and they take it because it's there. But it's much harder, but yet much more rewarding if you take those steps to find out what you love if you don't know it. And if you already know it, then just do what you love, you know?
And when you're doing it, everything seems to be okay. Because like how you said, when you started doing the things that you loved and was right for you, things just worked out. You didn't have a lot of money when you came to Vancouver.
Very little, actually. I didn't have a lot of anything. It's really bizarre. I mean, I had a girlfriend who said, why don't you stay with me for a few weeks? And then I ran into an old roommate of mine who happened to be leaving for Japan and gave me her room for dirt cheap. And so I have a fundamental belief that there is a higher power helping us. And so the path is not linear. It's not the way it is set out when you go and become an accountant or a lawyer or a doctor, you know, but it's there. And you just have to have faith. And one thing happens after another. And I don't know how to explain it. It just does. And now I'll never, ever live like in that 9 to 5 world again. To me, that's a much harder and a much more false reality.
Very nice. So we will watch out for Desi City. And with Jericho Beach, you're working on Sons of Gandhi.
Son of a Gandhi.
Son of a Gandhi. But there's two. Isn't there the two grandsons?
Oh, yeah. There's, well, there are two. Yeah, but the name is catchy.
Son of a Gandhi. Okay, we're going with that.
Yeah, it's almost complete. The trailer is there, and we're following the grandson and the great-grandson, and that's a really beautiful, very enlightening experience in and of itself. You know,
can't wait to see Son of a Gandhi and watch out for Desi City. And with Bollywood Shenanigans, are you going to do another I Can't Believe It's Not Butter Chicken?
Yeah, watch out for our latest show. It's going to be up in at the end of April.
Nice. And when you guys do your Bollywood Shenanigans, I Can't Believe It's Not Butter Chicken, when there's like a new one coming out, you often hold auditions. How about if someone wants to be a part of your sketch group? How do they get involved? This could be something for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, our contact information is on our website, bollywoodshenanigans.com, and you can get in touch with either myself or Manish and send us your resume, headshots. Right now we have our group is pretty good the way it is, but you're right, we're always looking for people, and whether it's backstage, behind the scenes, or acting right in front of the audience. It's not for the faint of heart because it is an adult-rated show, but it is definitely a lot of fun. Yeah,
I know that because I'm a huge fan. I think I'm in every single audience.
You really are. You're more than that. You know, you help us. You know, Angelina, you're not tooting your horn. I'll toot your horn, baby.
That'll be on the next episode of Close Look. Thank you so much, Leena Manro.
Thank you so much, Angelina.